And that was Sabaton with The Great War off of The Great War. It's a pretty good CD. And if you are like me and you kind of miss the days when albums were like 40 or 45 minutes long instead of 75, I mean, I know more music is a good thing, but when albums were 40, 45 minutes long, they were, one side of a record and the other, or one side of a cassette and the other. They were a lot more digestible. You could learn those songs and the lyrics a lot quicker than you can now when you've got, 14 songs you've got to listen to on a lot of things. That Sabaton album has like 10 songs on it. That's the longest one. It comes in at 4 minutes, and so most of the tracks on it are like 3 minutes long. So it's 3.5 minutes long. It is definitely a nicely digestible album. All right, well, that sort of wraps up Mostly Metal here on WVLP. I'm Ken the Metal Professor, and I'm sort of switching modes, as I often do here on Sunday night, from the metal to the wrestling. Last night, I went to Griffith, Indiana, and recorded audio at Backbreaker Wrestling's Megaclash 3. It was a eventful night on Backbreaker's last show of the year. A couple of title changes and other things going on. So if you've listened before and you've heard delayed audio coverage of wrestling shows, you know what's about to happen. And if not, well, you can keep listening and find out what's about to happen. But it's the next best thing to being there. And you don't get splattered with blood. Well, that doesn't happen at Backbreaker shows. That's okay. So anyway, it's 901 WVLP 103.1 FM. I probably said that a few minutes ago, but no harm in repeating it. It is time for the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program.
Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
I just mentioned that the show you're about to hear highlights from, Backbreaker Wrestling's Megaclash 3 in Griffith, is the last event of the year for that group, but other groups are still running shows, and in fact the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty busy. It does get mentioned during the recording, but I'll do it here too, just in case anybody tunes out between now and when it comes up. Shame on you. But let's see, in this area, we've got coming up on the 22nd, this coming Friday, I think that is, Acme Championship Wrestling down at the DeMont Boxing Club. That's probably their closeout show for the year. And then ARW Pro will be doing Black and Blue Wednesday on the 27th. That's their annual pre-Thanksgiving wrestling event. And I don't know if that's going to be their last one of the year or not. You will have wrestling back in Valparaiso, PRW, Project Revolution Wrestling. I've seen a poster for event they're having at Inman's on November 30th. So hopefully that'll be good. I'll be heading down to Crawfordsville for one last New Generation Wrestling show in later December on the 22nd. On December 7th, I think it is, we have Warrior Wrestling 7. Now, that's way out in Chicago Heights, but that is a fundraiser show for the Catholic high school there. And it's always a huge card with lots of well-known people coming in. And this time they have Kurt Angle and Will Ospreay coming in for the show. So there's still a lot of things happening. There's no reason to put away the wrestling clothes and make sure you're still getting to some shows. I've obviously run out of things to say, so I'm going to shut up and switch over now to the delayed audio coverage of Backbreaker Wrestling's Megaclash 3. Here comes the first half. The highlights from this are going to probably run about 25 minutes. I touched the wrong button. There we go. Good evening. It's Saturday, November 16th. I'm Ken the Metal Professor, and I am seated in St. Mary's Hildebrandt Hall Complex in Griffith, Indiana, for the event put on by Backbreaker Wrestling called Megaclash 3. This is the final Backbreaker show of the year, and a lot of the matches tonight are the culmination of things that have been bubbling within Backbreaker for quite a while. So on the Facebook page for this event, we see that we can expect Drex Odell to take on Trog the Caveman for the Backbreaker Wrestling Championship. That was established a couple of shows ago when Drex Odell won a Battle Royal to establish his #1 contendership. We've got Kevin Graves versus Dick Davis. We've got the Old West Outlaws, who's Gabe the Brave and Billy the Kid, taking on the Upper Class. The Upper Class is a large group of people. The two of them in this particular match will be Eric Young and Brentley Alexander Dawson. And we have another chunk of the Upper Class, Shooter McGavin, Kurt Joseph, and Thomas the Benjamin Keith, taking on Cade Lee, Johnny Motley, and Jake Roan. Cade Lee is the owner of Backbreaker Wrestling. He has not wrestled for quite a while, but he and Kurt Joseph have been having encounters with each other for the last several months, and it has led to this kind of Team Cade Lee versus Team Kurt Joseph scenario. We'll have Dave Allen versus Cody Jones and an appearance by the Wild Man Beast, which is always fun. The crowd here is very large. It's still 10 minutes before bell time, and almost all of the chairs that were set out are taken. This is the biggest crowd I've seen for Backbreaker so far. That's nice. I also want to give a couple of shout-outs. This is one of those weekends where there's multiple wrestling cards happening in the area on the same night. So while I'm here, I want to wish best of luck to Revolution Championship Wrestling, who's having tables, ladders, and chairs 2 at their event out in Mishawaka, Indiana. We also have Black Label Pro going on tonight in South Bend, and many others either in the kind of north central Indiana and particularly over in Illinois areas. So I hope everybody has good shows. Also a special shout out to our favorite villain, Shady Chris Zion. He was supposed to be on the RCW card, but he was in a pretty nasty auto accident and so is recovering from that. He was hospitalized. I don't know if he still is. But best wishes to him for a speedy recovery, and I hope to see him in action in early 2020. So the weather tonight is much better than last time I was here for Backbreaker when there was a typhoon outside. Everybody is dry tonight. And the card is set to start in less than 10 minutes, so I'm going to shut up, turn off the microphone, and you'll hear from me again when things get underway. Again, Ken the Metal Professor representing Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program. Here at Backbreaker Wrestling, this is delayed audio coverage of Megaclash 3, so you're going to hear all the highlights in audio format. We've already seen our first casualty of the night. A little kid just fell out of his chair and bonked the back of his head on the floor. Welcome to wrestling, kiddo. The usual Backbreaker tradition of having the national anthem to kick off the show has now finished. The flag's being taken away, and we're ready to start. Dave Allen's entrance music is always loud. All right, so right off the bat, a change from the Facebook match announcements. We've got Flawless Dave Allen taking on Excalibur. It also looks like we might have an emergency referee in the ring. It's somebody wearing a black Backbreaker Wrestling t-shirt and jeans, not the usual zebra stripes, but he is in the ring and he is checking Dave Allen and Excalibur for illegal objects. Doing a pretty good job of it, so he knows what he's doing. Nice, solid signal for the bell. So yeah, this ref's got it going on. A nice sportsmanlike handshake between Dave Allen and Excalibur to start the match off. And they have a collar and elbow tie-up for like half a second, and then Excalibur rolls Dave Allen over into a headlock. After a few minutes of action, Dave Allen has the upper hand at the moment. He was in the corner. Excalibur ran into the corner at him, but Dave Allen got his foot up and kicked Excalibur in the jaw. And then he went over and kicked him again for good measure. And now he's got him in a vice grip with his legs, trying to take that oxygen away from Excalibur. There have been a couple of pinfall attempts so far, but not many. The guys are both still too fresh. Well, there you heard one. Allen rolled Excalibur over in that vice lock. So his shoulders are on the mat, but Excalibur kicked back over. And now Excalibur is using his elbows to fight his way out of that waist lock. The applause you heard right there was for some of the work Excalibur and Dave Allen were putting on, but now the boos that you hear are coming from the group now known as the Upper Crust. Used to be the Masters and High Society separately, and now it's one large group. So Eric Young, Brentley Alexander Dawson, Thomas Keith, Kurt Joseph, Kevin Graves is out there, Shooter McGavin, along with their manager Scott Powers, have come out and surrounded the ring. The people in the ring are doing their best to ignore them and carry on with the match. Excalibur has Dave Allen on the mat. His standing shooting star press, but only gets a 2 count. So far, the gentlemen around the ring are standing there looking menacing, but not interfering in the match yet. Now Dave Allen has Excalibur reeling in a corner. He charges in and gives him a forearm. Bulldog on his knee. And a big boot to the face. But he's not going for the pin. I think he's waiting for Excalibur to get up. Oh, and now here we go. The interference has begun. Shooter McGavin and Brentley Alexander Dawson are hammering on Excalibur. Nope, Dave Allen with their golf clubs. And they've cleared the ring and taken over now. So now all 6 of them, along with Scott Powers, are in the ring. Lynn Marie has instructed the tag champs Eric Young and Brentley Alexander Dawson to stay in the ring. And she's telling the rest of them to clear out because now that they've arrived, the tag team championship match is going to take place. And they're listening. The other 4 are wishing Eric Young and Brentley Alexander Dawson good luck. And they are clearing out. For now. Well, as Gabe the Brave and Billy the Kid were greeting the crowd from two corners of the ring, Young Money and Billy the Kid attacked them from behind. And now, let's try that again. Young Money and Brentley Alexander Dawson attacked them from behind. Gabe the Brave has ended up caught in the ropes, which leaves Dawson and Young Money to be beating up Gabe the Brave, while Billy the Kid is outside of the ring. This match does seem to have a properly dressed ref, although I don't recognize him. Maybe there's been a ref uprising in Backbreaker Wrestling. Ref Oscar and Ref Zoran are nowhere to be seen. The ref is directing Billy the Kid outside the ring to his proper corner. Meanwhile, the other two are still hammering on Gabe the Brave. Now the ref sends Brentley Alexander Dawson, BAD, out to his corner. So finally, we're down to a one-on-one in the ring. Young Money versus Gabe the Brave, but Gabe the Brave is still tied up. And then Young Money immediately tags back in, BAD, giving them both some time to keep hammering on Gabe the Brave, who still has not escaped from the ropes. He's kind of sagging down towards the mat now. Oh, now he's popped his arms out. He's staggering around a little bit, but he's still managing to clobber Young Money a few times. Young Money tags back in, Brentley. So Gabe was not tangled in the ropes, but he really hasn't moved from that spot very much. And now after some more clubbering, as they used to call it, he's down on his hands and knees. Billy the Kid's trying to get him psyched up, and it might have worked because Gabe is now on his feet. He's put down Brentley. Gabe is slowly making his way to the corner, but Brentley took his legs out from under him, so he wasn't able to make the tag, and then Brentley went to the corner and clobbered Brentley Alexander Dawson. And as you know, that results in, why can I not keep Brentley Alexander Dawson and Billy the Kid straight? They both start with B. Brentley clobbered Billy the Kid, who made him want to come in the ring, which of course results in the ref concentrating on keeping him out. Therefore, the other two get to team up on Gabe again, who's been the victim of this for quite a while now. But now he's got Young Money in a bear hug. Young Money's trying to elbow his way out of it, but Gabe is carrying him towards his own ring corner. Young Money successfully got himself out, and Gabe is back down on the mat. Young Money and Dawson are taking turns dropping elbows onto Gabe. A 2 count. Billy the Kid tried to come in to break it up. The ref turned around to make sure he got back out, but no shenanigans. Dawson with a running kick to Gabe. Gabe is now back down on his back. I've been ready to fade the sound out when Gabe finally makes the tag, but he just hasn't been able to do it yet. Now Dawson and Young Money are trying to do a double suplex onto Gabe. I think Gabe is going to reverse it. There he goes. Gabe took them both up and over at the same time in a big double suplex. Gabe is slowly trying to make his way over to his corner. Billy the Kid is about to blow a gasket. I hope his blood pressure doesn't do bad things before he gets tagged in. Oh, and Gabe was about to the corner, and Brentley Dawson yanked Billy the Kid down from outside the ring, leaving Young Money to once again beat on Gabe the Brave. And finally, after a belly-to-belly suplex to Young Money, Gabe finally gets to tag himself out. Billy the Kid is going to town on Young Money. Oh, now the ref is claiming he didn't see the tag. As you can imagine, this does not please Billy the Kid. He has thrown his handkerchief, neckerchief, bandana, whatever you want to call it. He's flung it out into the audience. And so, victimized in the ring. All right, now, Gabe manages to do a double choke slam onto Young Money and Brentley Alexander Dawson. Billy the Kid is just begging Gabe to get to the corner, and there's a tag, and even better, the ref has seen it. So Billy the Kid is going to be cleaning house for a while. Billy the Kid's been having some fun in there, a Bronco Buster for several bounces up and down on Young Money. Fireman's carry, helicopter spin on Dawson. And then a backdrop out of that. Now he's still got Dawson in the ring. Gabe just came in with a huge tomahawk chop to Dawson. Eric Young has his back turned, not knowing what's coming to him. After a double suplex, Billy the Kid and Gabe the Brave have gotten the pinfall. They are your new Backbreaker Tag Team Champions.
Making his way to the ring, weighing in at 170 pounds from the grand stage of the Gladiator Stadium, Mr. Beautiful, Kevin Brave. And remember, this match has a 15-minute time
Legacy champion Dick Davis now in the ring to take on his challenger Kevin Graves. I wasn't quick enough to get the good ring introduction for Dick Davis. He's got groupies. There's 4 people standing in front of me, all with their cell phones up high, filming his entrance. They're all standing right next to each other too, so instead of taking one video and sharing it, each of them will have their own individual video from exactly the same spot. There was at least 1 or 2 other people filming his entrance from other places in the gym. But he is one of the most popular people here in Backbreaker Wrestling. He is the holder of the Legacy Championship. Kevin Graves is going to try to change that, but we'll see how it goes. Graves and Davis have a long history together, so neither one of them is going to have an advantage right out of the block, because they will both be very familiar with the other one's strengths and weaknesses. Graves is already extending the hand of sportsmanship to Davis. The crowd, as you can tell, doesn't buy the sincerity of the offer. And Davis is thinking. Davis was about to take the hand, and Kevin Graves retracted his up high. And there's the collar and elbow tie-up to start this match. Lynn Marie did announce this match has a 15-minute time limit. Here on this delayed audio recap of Backbreaker Wrestling, it will be a lot shorter. Lynn Marie just announced the 10 minutes remaining mark. Kevin Graves has been dropped from high places a couple of times, once with a hip toss takedown, which sometimes doesn't go very high, but Davis got into that one and catapulted him around pretty hard. And then an overhead press into a slam. But now Graves is got Davis down on the mat, hammering him on the head, trying a pin, doesn't work. Now he's got an arm lock. Davis's fan club kicking in, cheering him along. Still filming from at least 3 different locations. The action moved outside of the ring. Dick Davis is already outside. Kevin Graves went up on the second turnbuckle on the outside and did a flying body press onto Davis. So they were both down for a little while, but now they brought it back into the ring. Graves is just nonchalantly slapping Davis in the corner. Lynn Marie just gave the 5 minutes remaining mark. That may have jacked up the level of energy in the ring as the countdown is on. Kevin Graves just with a big stunner to Davis. That was the thud that you probably heard. But he did not get a 3 count out of it. And now he's just kind of posing for the crowd over the ropes rather than trying to take care of business. A nice chant from the crowd. Spurs on Davis to a spine buster, but he does not get the 3 count either. Kurt Joseph made his way to ringside. While the ref was admonishing him, Kevin Graves dealt a low blow to Dick Davis. But it only led to a 2 count. The ref is preoccupied with Kurt Joseph. And in the meantime, Kevin Graves has picked up the belt. And as he went after Davis with it, Davis stepped aside and shoved Graves into Kurt Joseph. And on the rebound, got the pinfall. Dick Davis has held on to his legacy championship, and Kurt Joseph is standing at ringside lamenting the bad choice that he's made. As intermission gets underway, here's a reminder of some upcoming shows. ACW, Acme Championship Wrestling, is having an event at DeMont Boxing Club on the 22nd. ARW Pro in Lake Station on the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving, their annual show then. That's the 27th, I believe. And then on Saturday the 30th, wrestling returns to Valparaiso. Project Revolution Wrestling out of Chicago Heights is doing a show at Inman's. I haven't seen a whole lot of publicity about it yet, so tell your friends. Make sure people show up. Again, Project Revolution Wrestling at Inman's in Valparaiso on November 30th. Now I've got to go back and make sure that I didn't say September for the other dates. Any dates I said are in November. Well, this is pretty good timing. It's 9:30, and that was the first half of Backbreaker Wrestling's Megaclash 3. Not the whole thing, just some highlights. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. We're halfway through the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program here on this Sunday night. This will be rebroadcast Wednesday, the whole Mostly Metal and NWIWRAP block. It's 2 hours long, metal for the first hour, wrestling for the second. That goes 10 to 12, 10 p.m. to midnight on Wednesdays, following the original live broadcast on Sunday night. So if you missed any part of this, you can check it out Wednesday. The wrestling part also gets posted to YouTube. Just look for the NWIWRAP. That's NWIWRAP, Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program. Look for that YouTube channel, and this will be, I think I'm up to episode 91 now, so this will be there in a couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. So here is the second half of Backbreaker Wrestling's Megaclash 3. The intermission is over here at Backbreaker Wrestling. Lynn Marie is trying to coax the wrestlers to the back and the fans to their seats. To varying success. I think the wrestlers are all to the back, but there's still some clusters of people jabbering.
All right, guys.
They're in line for food. Now that's important, so that's acceptable.
Brought to you by Creative Comics. Your first opponents, representing the upper class, Thomas the Benjamin Keith, Shooter McGavin, and Kurt Joseph.
Having introduced Cade Lee, Lynn Marie runs to the back with their daughter. Cade Lee and Kurt Joseph have been going after each other for a few months now, leading to this match where each of them picked a team. So it's going to be 3-on-3. Cade Lee has just become my favorite wrestler. I've never seen him in a full match before. I guess my last chance would have been at Fire Pro Wrestling, but I think I started attending that after he stopped working there. But he came out to a song by Ronnie James Dio fronted Black Sabbath off of Dehumanizer. That was his entrance music, and that alone makes him my favorite wrestler. But he came out with his wife and daughter. They're supporting him against Kurt Joseph and his clowns. I mean, tag team partners. Now, as much as I'm pulling for Cade Lee and his team, the introductions themselves might tell you a story here that the upper class, Kurt Joseph and Shooter McGavin and Thomas Keith, were introduced as a cohort as the upper class, whereas Cade Lee's team had 3 separate introductions with 3 separate entrance musics, kind of showing that they're kind of a assembled team, whereas the other is a working team, if that makes sense. But we'll see how it goes. And it's on. I was waiting to see, which one from each team would start in the ring. Silly me, all 6 men are in the ring. Nobody's gone to corners yet. A 3-way collision of the upper class as they're all slingshotted into each other by Cade Lee, Johnny Motley, and Jake Roan. Maybe now it's going to approach a normal match. Jake Roan and Johnny Motley are now outside the ring in their corner. We're leaving Cade Lee in the ring to start officially. He's getting checked by the ref. We are converging on an actual match now. For the upper class, let's see who's going to start off there. Here comes, Kurt Joseph is pretending to get in the ring as if he's going to face Cade Lee. Having trouble with names tonight for some reason. I was kind of expecting that to be a shenanigan, that he would jump back out, but I was right. The two were circling each other, but then Joseph tagged in Shooter McGavin. So Cade Lee and Shooter McGavin start the match off. Shooter's already injured his hand by hitting Cade's hard head. I think Johnny Motley went to Gabe the Brave and said, "Oh, you thought you could stay trapped in the ring for a long time? Wait for this." Because he has been getting beaten on for a long time with no respite. He has 2 people he could tag in if he could get to them, but that hasn't been possible for a while. But in the meantime, all 3 of the upper class, Thomas Keith, Kurt Joseph, and Shooter McGavin, they've all been coming in and out of the ring. Johnny Motley just turned a tilt-a-whirl head scissors into a sling blade after he came out of the tilt-a-whirl. But he ended up in the wrong corner instead of going to hit. Thomas Keith trying for a pinfall, but no luck. Well, both men managed to tag out at the same time, so now Cade Lee is in against Shooter McGavin. This is Cade's first significant actual legal participation in the match, other than just a little bit at the beginning. But all three of the upper class have retreated to the outside. Johnny Motley has ideas. And he does a suicide dive through the top ropes. Looks like Jake Rowan has a similar idea. He looks like he's about to follow in the footsteps or flight path of Motley. Oh, he went up and over that top rope with a rotation. If I have my Moro Ronaldo correct, that is a tope con hilo. So Kurt Joseph and Cade Lee are left in the ring together. Cade Lee drops one of the straps off of his singlet, he means business. And now they're just throwing haymakers until Kurt Joseph claws at his eyes. Cade Lee went for a big clothesline, but that didn't work. He missed. Now a sidewalk slam by Kurt Joseph onto his knee. Only a 1 count, though. Motley and Rowan are both back in their corner. They're available for a tag if Cade Lee can get there. Kurt Joseph has other ideas, though. Ooh, a scream of rage from Cade Lee. I think he's angry. He blocks a blow from Kurt Joseph, returns the blow, slingshot, and a shoulder block. And he's not tagging out. Ooh, now both straps are down. It's getting serious. And a huge clothesline from Cade Lee onto Kurt Joseph. Jake Rowan has been tagged in. He is up on the top of the corner turnbuckle. Cade Lee puts down Kurt Joseph. Jake Rowan comes off with a big flying elbow. And it's a 3 count. It'll take a minute for the end of match announcement because Lynn Marie had to run back from ringside to the microphone. There we go. She's back.
Your winners, Johnny Motley, Cade Lee, and Jake Rowan. All right, guys. This next match is being brought to you by Even Water. Making his way to the ring, weighing in at 400 pounds from the Sudan, the Wild Man, Beast.
This just in, while I'm waiting for Wildman Beast to make his way to the ring, I was browsing a little Facebook. Let's get the announcement. Roach is going to be Beast's opponent. But during Beast's entrance, I was being bad and browsing Facebook. Anthony Lee has become the new heavyweight champion of Revolution Championship Wrestling on their card out there in South Bend. So congratulations to Anthony Lee. He's been putting in a lot of hard work this year. Well, I haven't seen an appearance of Roach for quite a while, but he is in there taking on Wildman Beast. Roach is very colorful with tassels and yellow and purple gear. Wildman Beast keeps giving a pretty savage look to the ref every once in a while. And if I was the ref, that would make me very uncomfortable. And I think Wildman Beast is now biting Roach. And Beast ends the match eventually with his patented butt drop onto poor Roach. The crowd is chanting one more time. Roach has already been splatted. I don't know that he wants to do it again. Maybe. Beast is walking over to Roach, standing next to him. Oh, standing over him. And there we go. Butt drop number 2. Still giving that savage look to the ref. Now Beast is rolling out of the ring. Can we get a spatula out here to clean up Roach? And now, if I remember the match announcements right, we're going to go from having a Beast and a Roach to having a Caveman as we wait for Drex Odell and Trog the Caveman for the Heavyweight Championship. Roach is still prone in the ring. He has not moved an inch since he was splatted the second time. We're going to need a bigger spatula. I believe his name is Ref Jake. He's the properly attired ref for the evening. He's come out to help clear Roach out of the ring. Dave Allen is also on hand. He's just slung Roach up and over his shoulders and is carrying him out. Oh, but Dave Allen goes to celebrate when he raises his hands over his head. Roach falls off his shoulders, and now he's dragging Roach to the back. Now, I will point out that Jake, the ref, and Dave Allen have both failed their first aid knowledge. You are not supposed to move an injured and prone individual, especially one that's been splattered by a Wildman Beast. And you are most especially not to drag them across the floor and out of the ring area using their ankles. Ooh. Ooh, we're dropping the lights for the entrances to this next match, which should be the main event unless there's a surprise fourth match. Spooky. Just to emphasize the zoological tendencies of this half of the show, the last match was a Wildman Beast and a Roach. This match is Drex Odell versus Trog the Caveman, and their weights were announced in stone and portions of a woolly mammoth. So Drex Odell weighing in at, I think it was 22 stone. Trog the Caveman being introduced as 1/3 of a woolly mammoth. Now the lights were dimmed for the entrances. Drex Odell came out with his LED face mask, and the number of LEDs in his ring coat has also increased, so it was a nice visual. The lights were down for Trog's entrance, but he didn't have lights. I don't think cavemen know what LEDs are, unless they stand for large edible dinosaurs. And yes, I did just think of that. I was probably better off not saying it. It strikes me that this is a very even match in terms of the competitors. Drex Odell and Trog the Caveman could actually be twins. Both stocky individuals, stocky but powerful. They both have no hair on the top of the head and a thick beard from the chin, about the same height. Perhaps the weight in number of stone is equal to the weight of a third of a woolly mammoth. They'd make a good tag team. I'm just saying. This match was going on fairly evenly until in the middle of the ring, Drex had Trog in a headlock and both men were down on their knees. Drex took a foreign object of some sort out of the leg of his tights and clocked Trog the Caveman a couple of times with it. The ref didn't notice, then he put it back. So apparently Drex is not above shady means to try to secure this championship victory. And there he is there. He's pulled it out again, jabbing it into the forehead of Trog. Well, the ref found it now, but all he did was take it away. No consequences. I guess if the ref was cranky, he could have called for a disqualification, but he's going to let it go. He's confiscated the object, though. Makes me think back to the start of the match. Did the ref actually check both of these guys for objects? I don't remember. Oh, that loud sound was Drex planting Trog with a spine buster. Didn't quite get the height into Trog as, say, Arn Anderson may have for one of his opponents, but can't blame him. That would be hard work. Drex Odell is up for a moonsault. Trog rolled out of the way. I think Drex may now be like 0 for 47 on those things. But I appreciate his can-do spirit. And Trog is now trying to psych himself up. He's approaching Drex, slugs him with an elbow. Oh, now they're going to trade elbows. So Drex may not have been as out of it as he appeared. As they were trading blows, they accidentally hit the ref. As the ref is seeing to his own discomfort in the corner, Drex Odell grabbed Trog's drumstick, or leg bone, or whatever it is, hit him with it, and there's the 3 count. And through nefarious means, Drex Odell is now your Backbreaker Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Your winner, and new Backbreaker Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Drex Odell. Is all of you guys.
There you go. That brings to a close the Backbreaker Wrestling 2019 season. We end with Drex Odell as the heavyweight champion. And let's see, Dick Davis still the legacy champion, and new tag team champions, Billy the Kid and Gabe the Brave. And again, coming up in the next few weeks, it might be the end of Backbreaker season, but they're still wrestling in the area. And we've got Acme Championship Wrestling on the 22nd at the DeMont Boxing Club. We've got, who do we have on the 27th? Somebody. I've forgotten. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. Adrenaline Ringside Wrestling, ARW Pro, on the 27th, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And we have Project Revolution Wrestling coming to Inman's in Valparaiso on November 30th. Warrior Wrestling 7 is coming in early December, and you definitely want to take a look at that, especially if you're a fan of Kurt Angle or even Will Ospreay. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. This has been the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program. See you next time.